Hello everyone and welcome back to another Pony&Wolf Productions video. My name is Visual Pony and today we are reading the story Flash Sentry by Short Skirts and Explosions. A very interesting username to be precise, and I am kinda intrigued by that username alone. Now let's get into this, and as always here's an amazing list of those amazing people who keep donating to our amazing channel and give us a food budget, which we desperately need. So, if you want to be on that list, then you can become a patron on Patreon, the link down in the description below. You get amazing early access to everything we produce, sometimes weeks, months, years in advance. Now, don't forget, you also have the merch store down below where you can get t-shirts, shower curtains, mugs, all the things that you want, even switch cases. And don't forget, there's also super thanks and channel membership. So, without further ado, let's get into the meat of the story, because I'm annoying myself right now. School day. The young teenage boy known as Flash Sentry woke up at 6 in the morning to the blaring sound of his alarm clock. He got up out of bed, took a shower, put on his clothes, and had a quick breakfast. After gathering his school books and belongings, he slung a backpack over his shoulder and stepped out of his house. Flash Sentry got into his car with a bright blue lightning bolt and gold shield crest on the front hood and drove across town as the sun rose behind the horizon. It was daylight by the time he got to the parking lot of Canterlot High School, which was already bustling with activity. After parking his car, Flash Sentry stepped inside the school building and headed for his locker. "Hey there, Flash," said Flash Sentry's friend Thunderbeth from across the hall. "Good morning, Thunderbeth," Flash Sentry said back, all the while putting away his gym clothes and gathering his books for his first period class. "Are we still getting together for a jam session tomorrow night?" Thunderbeth asked with a wink. "You know it, bro," Flash Sentry said, winking back and giving a thumbs up. Flash Sentry closed his locker and walked to his first period class. It was Algebra 2 with Cranky Doodle teaching. Flash Sentry paid attention to all of the instructions and wrote many notes down. At the sound of the bell, the first period ended. Flash Sentry walked to his next class. It was World Literature taught by Miss Shirley. The subject of the day was about prisoners of war. It was a very serious topic. When the bell rang next, it was time for lunch. Flash Sentry went to his locker to put some books away. Then he went to the cafeteria. There he stood in line, listening to the silly conversations of his classmates. Somebody said something funny and he laughed. At last he got his food. It was a plate of chicken Alfredo with an apple and some chocolate pudding. Flash Sentry took the food to a nearby table and sat down. He ate calmly while talking with his friends, Sandalwood and Microchips. "I'm going to be the champion of the hacky sack tournament this year," Sandalwood declared. "You keep your hackies and your sacks," Microchips stated, adjusting his glasses. "The AV Club is where it's at." Flash Sentry laughed. "You two are so funny and I love having lunch with you." And he smiled. When lunch was over, Flash Sentry threw the apple core away and recycled the tray and the styrofoam plates. He then went to his locker and got his PE clothes and headed straight for gym. Once there, he dressed out of his normal clothes and into his athletic guy clothes. He made sure to put on deodorant before heading out into the field. Coach Spitfire blew a whistle as soon as Flash Sentry arrived. "I better see you sweat, cadet!" the off-duty ROTC instructor shouted raspily. Flash Sentry did not like breaking any rules, so he did what he was told. He ran 10 laps at an even pace, making sure to take full deep breaths and visit the nearby water fountain in order to keep himself properly hydrated. He finished his regular calisthenics before most of the class and had a chance to sit and rest on the bleachers and catch his breath after so much jogging. "Well, hey there, stranger," said a voice from behind. It was Sunset Shimmer. "Oh, hello, Sunset," Flash Sentry said with a smile and a wave. "Fancy meeting you here." Sunset Shimmer laughed. She was joined by Twilight Sparkle and Rainbow Dash and Rarity and Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie and Applejack. "You are so silly and charming." How's your band doing? Flash Sentry asked, smiling. I heard the rain booms are the talk of the town.
We're rocking it real hard,
Rainbow Dash said while making awesome gestures with her hands. Everybody laughed.
But we also hear that you're making good music,
Sunset said, smiling at her ex-boyfriend.
You should come and jam with us sometime.
Yeah, maybe I should, Flash Sentry said, and PE was over. Flash Sentry went back to the locker room, changed into his normal clothes, and made sure to wash his face. After that, he headed for home economics, taught by Granny Smith. He baked a pie along with Derpy Hoofs. Derpy Hoofs fell at one point and spilled strawberry jam all over the floor. Don't worry, I've got this, Flash Sentry said, helping Derpy Hoofs back up and smiling. He was such a gentleman and Derpy could not help but blush. Flash Sentry mopped up the mess right up until the bell rang, ending the class. Flash Sentry returned to his locker to grab his things for the last period of school. He put the books into his backpack, stepped over the corpses, and arrived at his biology class, also taught by Cranky Doodle. Today we're going to learn about Ebola, the teacher said, and then he played a movie. The last bell rang. The halls were full of clattering feet as students rushed home. Flash Sentry took his time. He got into his car, checked his mirrors, and used his turn signals properly. He drove home, still slightly stinky from PE class. It was funny. He took a shower, then dried himself off, changing into normal casual guy clothes. Flash Sentry turned on the radio and sat down to do his homework. He hummed to his favorite tunes, occasionally daydreaming about the next jam session he would have with Thunderbass and friends. At night, he watched a movie on Netflix, laughing at the silly parts and shivering at the scary parts. He took a shower and brushed his teeth, then put on his normal guy sleeping clothes. He lay down in bed, looking at the ceiling and smiling at how good everything was. He then turned off the light and fell asleep.
It is once again time for comment time with me, Luna, the comment kitty. Like and subscribe so that my can openers can buy me more amazing toys and treats. Sometimes I allow them to buy some food and stuff for themselves too, but only after I had my own share first. Also don't forget the merch store and the Patreon in the description down below. That way you can get stuff earlier or support the channel and get amazing merchandise. My papa read the story, edited it and then made a video out of it. In all honesty, the story isn't bad, but it isn't really good either. It is the definition of the slice of life tag. I am dead serious. It is the description of Flash Sentry's day. Nothing more and nothing less. It could do with some editorial work, but otherwise it's just fine. If fleshed out, it could actually be very interesting in my perfect opinion. Now go away, there is our pets with my name on it.